up, please, and take your seats.
The third for Cal Crutchlow, second for Marc Marquez, and your race winner, Andrea Dovizioso. Please take your seats, gentlemen. Thank you. Okay, race one done and dusted here in Qatar. What a race it was as well. Surprised we've got voices left here. The Visit Qatar Grand Prix to kick off 2019. We will start off with the race winner, Ducati's Andrea Dovizioso. Andrea, we heard from Paolo Ciabatti on the grid who said that you had a game plan. Did that go according to plan? It looked like an extraordinary race.
I didn't know really what the riders can do, so I expected Rins that strong. Also, if yesterday crashed twice and maybe he lose a little bit of feeling, he is so good in the race. And I saw him during the test, and his speed in the middle of the corners is embarrassing. I mean, his bike, I think, is completely opposite than my bike. I can accelerate so strong, I can be very fast in the straight, but in the middle of the corner, I'm struggling a lot. And I wanted to stop him every time because it was too early to push. Nobody can push for the entire race with the rear tire. So I think he started too soon. So I was able to stop him and continue to save the tire, and that was a perfect strategy. A perfect strategy to fight with Marc in the last lap. I did a mistake on the brake with the shifting, and Marc overtaken me, but that gave me the possibility to understand the situation of Marc and give me an extra boost because I understood his grip was worse than me, but in the braking he was better. So, but I thought my speed was a bit better. So I decided immediately to try to overtake him as soon as possible and push, and didn't give him the possibility. I mean, at the end, he was able to overtake me, but in the Marc style, it's so good to try the overtake also when he doesn't have the same speed. But I was able to answer in the right way because my acceleration was really good. So I'm so happy because before the weekend, the feeling was so bad. I didn't have the feeling, we didn't have the base of the setup, but if you stay calm and you work in the right way with the team, this can happen.
Just quickly, the final corner, almost a carbon copy of 2018. We all knew Marc was coming. For a split second, it looked like you weren't sure if Marc was coming, and then it all changed and it went the way it did.
Well, we can look this in two ways. I mean, it's nice to see. It's nice to win like this against a champion. But just Marc is able to do that. In that situation, nobody entry, I think. So it's a desperate situation. He wanted to try. So some other rider, I mean, all the other riders, I think, in that situation, stay behind me and finish second. So it's positive to finish like this, but unfortunately it's his advantage. He's able to create that, and sometimes works, sometimes no.
Congratulations to you, Andrea. Well done. We move now on to Marc Marquez. Considering it's a circuit that perhaps isn't one of your favourites, you must be happy with 20 points, although slightly disappointed, I'm sure, that it's another toe-to-toe battle that you lose to Andrea Dovizioso. Talk us through your race, and especially the last lap, because you had a go at him earlier in the lap this time as well.
Yeah, of course, I'm very, very happy, especially because, it's one of the worst circuits for us, one of the circuits that I struggle more. And especially this weekend, and I was struggling a lot to understand and to manage the front tire because for my riding style were too soft. Even the hard was not working because it was another one compared last year, and I was struggling a lot. And yeah, then I ride all the race with the rear tire. And when you ride all the race with the rear tire, means that you are using a lot of rubber. And I saw that in the end the speed of Dovi was better. But then I just tried to push, and I tried to to see what's happened if I try last corner, and yeah, I lose, but I'm very happy because these 20 points, I mean, I try. I know that I did my 100% this weekend, and yeah, I was very close to them. I understand many things from Ducati, and we have a good package. So we'll arrive better circuits and better conditions for us.
Perhaps not the biggest surprise that it was you and Dovizioso fighting for the win, but were there any other surprises for you in that race because it was so close at the front?
I mean, of course, today was a very strange race. I mean, it was very slow pace. Was a slow pace, but for me was better, much better, because like I say, I was struggling to save the rear tire, but also the front. And I think the others didn't have the problem with the front. But for my riding style, this allocation from the circuit was not the best one, but we'll arrive in another circuit that will be better. So we survived. We survived with 20 points in a circuit that we struggled a lot. Yesterday, 2 crashes. I mean, I was very fast in 3-4 laps, but then I was destroying the front tire. And we survived, and this is the most important. Of course, it's interesting too that in the preseason we see many names, many manufacturers, but then arrive the real time, and are the same names plus Valentino that arrived on Saturday. So he finished 5th, and yeah, it's interesting and time to understand and time to improve for Argentina.
Thanks, Mark. Congratulations. Thanks for a great race, you two. Moving on now to Cal Crutchlow. Wow, what a warrior performance that was. Back-to-back podiums, Cal. Motegi and here tonight in Losail. After everything that has happened to you since Phillip Island, this must feel like one of your best ever podiums.
Yeah, obviously it's great to be back. It's great to be back to be able to race in MotoGP, let alone be on the podium. You know, my team did a great job, the LCR Castrol Honda team. We worked hard. We worked hard this weekend because the tests, as you know, were a bit of a waste of time for me. And also this weekend's been a difficult weekend. If you would have asked me after warm-up, finishing 13th or 14th, that I was going to be on the podium, I would have laughed. So I played my cards in the race. I felt good once we started the race. I think me and Mark had a very similar tactic to try and save the rear tyre and manage a little bit more. But then if we started to push the front, we would have some problem with the front. So then, as Mark said, we start to ride with the rear, and it's difficult to manage that situation. But what a great start to the season for everybody, you know, here, the riders, the fans, and the people watching at home. It seems every race in MotoGP is always a battle, and it was nice to be in it. You know, it was nice to be able to race and come here to get a podium is a dream, to be honest, because we didn't know that I was going to be coming back at all at one point, let alone coming back and being competitive.
You fought so hard in the race, Cal. Were there points at all in the race where you thought like the podium was slipping away because you dropped back a couple of places? Did you think, maybe it's gone now or not?
After about, I don't know, when I started to drop back about 5 or 6 laps. 3 people come past me and I was 6th or 7th or something. And I was, when I was behind these 2 at the start, or three riders at the start, I thought, I felt really comfortable, but then they passed me and I just thought they were mental. You know, they were madmen, they were swerving everywhere, and I knew I had to get past them to be in a good rhythm and a good state of mind to be able to be smooth, because they were, the other riders around me were not really riding smooth at that point. But that's MotoGP, you know, they play their cards, and everybody plays their cards, and if their cards to be really fast in the middle of the corner or break 50 meters after the other person, it makes great entertaining racing. But I felt that I had good pace, and I felt I had the pace for the podium, you know, halfway through the race, so I knew where to push and when to push, and I think it worked to our advantage.
Well done to you, Cal. Thanks to all 3 of you. That's it from me here in Qatar. Questions from the floor, please.
Mark, did your shoulder hurt at all during the race, or did it limit you in any way at all?
No. Of course, for physical condition, the race was easy because the pace was very slow in the beginning, and for me was like I say, was much better for physical condition and also for the tires. So yeah, for the shoulder is of course you feel like the muscles are working in a different way, and but now I have 2 weeks more to prepare well. But on riding style, it's okay.
A question for Dovi. Mark was saying the pace was slow. It seemed to be slow. Were you deliberately making the race slow? And would you have been better to try to push because you might have got a bigger gap and made your life a little easier?
Well, I think the MotoGP now is really different than the past. If you look, Valentino finished in 6/10 and finished 5th. I think nobody look to try to make the fastest race, especially because you can arrive at the end of the race in a really bad situation. So I think the best strategy is to try to be ready in the right moment. I think this is what I did. I save a lot the tire during the race. That's why I stop every time he rains, because to follow him I have to use the rear tire. So that is the reason why the gap is so small compared to all the riders. But the MotoGP now is different, I think.
Andrea, you used the let's say the gadgets that Petrucci used yesterday as well. And yesterday you said maybe you would try it today. Did you feel an advantage using that? Can you tell us whether it felt any different at all?
No, when you ride, you don't feel any different about feeling on the bike.
Carl, we saw you in the end of the race after the checkered flag that you hardly can move your feet out of the bike. It was that bad? It hurt you, or it was so heavy after all this race? And then another question: you saw in the last phases of the race the Suzuki of Rins, where Suzuki has advantage to your Honda, and where your Honda has advantage to the Suzuki.
After the flag, I didn't take my feet off because normally you have to ride the bike with 2 feet on the pegs. But I mean, no. Honestly, not to make a joke, my ass in the left-hand cheek, somebody hit me with the foot peg, and I didn't feel for 15 laps. But I have no idea who it was. But so my ankle was fine. I had no problem with the ankle at all. Only 2 times in the race I had a problem. I got my foot stuck on the brake lever, which in the practice it happens a lot, and the qualifying happened a lot. And in the race I only had 2 times, so I was very pleased with the smoothness of the way I rode with regards to my rear brake. But yeah, the reason I couldn't move was because I couldn't feel my ass. I'm being honest with you, you know. Then the Suzuki is strong, there's no doubt, but I think the Honda is stronger. I think we played our cards very well. We know Honda has built a very good engine this year, and we are able to fight and be competitive more with the Ducati. But I think in the moment we have lost a little bit the turning of the corner entry and the turning, and we will look to improve this. The Suzuki managed the tyre very well, as the other guys say. So then if they are in front of us, you have to push a lot more to be with them. The corner speed they carry is phenomenal. And it means that if our bike doesn't go around the corner as fast, we have to open earlier to push the tyre more to go with them. So, but yeah, both Mir and Rins rode well.
I have a question for Mark and another one for Dovi. Mark, did you lose the race because of the engine this time or not?
No. The engine gave me the second position. Because, believe me, last year I had a better pace, and last year I felt better on the chassis side. but it's only because the front tire allocation was different. I mean, and I was able to use the hard one. But this is something that I don't complain, because in some races will be better for us, some races will be better for another manufacturer. And Michelin believe in one side, but like we saw in the first day was working very good, the hard front tire, because the temperature was higher. But this yesterday and today was very, very cold, and then I wasn't able to use the hard front tire. And yeah, that's it. For that reason, I used the K. And last time that I used K tire here, the medium one, I finished 5th. So yeah, the engine gave me that extra to finish in 2nd place. And yeah, I pray before the race to have a slow pace, and Dobby gave me a slow pace, and then I tried in the end, but I was my rear tire was finished because, like I say, I was riding with only with the rear.
Dobby, you said that Mark passed you in Mark style. What does this mean?
That means it's difficult to explain. You have to be a rider to understand exactly. No, it's because when you are behind the riders and you have to take a risk to brake so hard, lock the front, the rear, don't make a mistake and stay on the corner, is very difficult. You feel the fear. You feel, I can do that. And I think Mark has something more about that, and is able to play a little bit more than us in this situation, and he's able to try to manage. So he takes a lot of risk, but he's good most of the time to play on that risk, on that limit. But we know that, and we try to answer in the right way.
Cal, we saw you get faster and faster as the race went on. Did the carbon swing arm make a difference to saving the rear tyre?
No, because as Mark said, we had to use quite a lot of the rear tyre to turn the bike this weekend. Yeah, the pace was the pace. As both the guys said at the start of the race, the pace was slow, and it made the group bunch up. Sure, we have a better engine this year, and the carbon fibre swing arm for our team is working well. HRC have done a good job with that. Could I have gone faster? Yeah, probably, but I never had a fantastic feeling all weekend with the bike or at the test. So I think we did a good job with what we had and the limited time we had to set up the bike. I think the reason why we were able to still be fast at the end of the race was the fuel went down, the tyres were still not terrible. And I also swapped the tyre on the grid. I was going to race a soft rear tyre, and then I changed to the medium, which was a gamble because I did 10 laps on it the whole weekend, and I'd used the soft. So I think we made the right choice.
It sounds like the other teams have protested the aerodynamics on your bike. Have you spoken to your team about it, and can you comment on it yet?
I don't know anything.
Andrea, the race this evening was very similar to last year. After one race, can you say something definitive that is an improvement with the GP19 compared to last year's bike?
Same as last year, but not really the same. Similar, but not really the same. I think it's too early. Qatar track is very strange, so we have to wait, I think, until minimum Le Mans. Because the next round it will be another too strange track. But what I can see is looks like the competitors are everybody closer. That means when you are in a bad weekend, you can lose a lot of points. That's why we have to keep the foot on the ground and continue to work, because we have some really good points, but in the middle of the corner we are the slowest bike. And still we have a really good acceleration and really good power on the straight, and give us the possibility in when the tire is good for us and the track is good for us to make the difference. But in 19 races still I think we miss something. But I don't know, because also to understand the Honda situation is difficult. Looks like they have a small advantage compared to last year because they have more power, but we have to see, the change sometimes can create positive things and negative things. So we have to wait to see in a different condition.
Question for Andrea again. At the start, did you use the lever on the triple?
Yeah,
you did. And
there is the TV, so I can't say anymore. It was clear.
it worked well, and
You used it on the water lap as well.
Exactly. I start first, so it was good. And maybe Jack was start even better.
Yeah, just a question for Cal. You mentioned this result's like a dream. Can you just talk about the journey to get to this point from probably some of the darkest days of your career? I mean, how kind of bad was it? And to get back to the podium straight away?
I'm not going to bore everyone with the story. Yeah, it was not great. As everybody knows, you know, I had a badly broken ankle and leg at the bottom of the leg, and they were close to fusing the ankle. But as I said in the MotoGP interview, I have a lot of people to thank, you know, for me being able to race again, walk again, let alone race. You know, the doctor, Mateus Russ, and my doctor at home that took care of me, Ross Barker, back in the Isle of Man as well, and the physiotherapists, and my team around me. You know, it was not an easy road. You know, it was not easy to sit there and at the start it was okay to sit and watch the MotoGP races. I was fine. I accepted it. But after, when I couldn't walk, it was difficult. You know, as you know, I could ride my bicycle all week, no problem, but I couldn't walk. And having no normality of life, yeah, I didn't know if I was going to be able to walk again. They told me I would, but if you're in that much pain, you know, you don't know yourself. First of all, I wanted a normal life and to be able to walk, and I can. And it's just a bonus that I can still race a motorcycle.
Yes, Mark, I have one question for you. I think this is the 5th race that is decided in the last corner between you and Andrea. How would you rate this one? Was it more difficult than the other ones? Did you think you had more chance this time than the other races?
It was a replay from last year, but last year I felt more chance than this year. This year I try because I need to try, but yeah, it's true. But I already know he was braking late, and I was with the medium tire. I was not able to stop the bike like I like. So yeah, I try to see what's going on, to prepare also the exit, to see with the engine. And yeah, I think we finished 3,000 closer to him, but still not enough. But anyway, yeah, we tried, so I'm happy.
Yes, Mark, how would you feel if the protest of that 4 teams are doing against Ducati has success and you win the race out of the track?
Just I tried to do my 100% inside the track, and today was one rider faster than me and was Dovizioso, so he beat me.
Gentlemen, that concludes the press conference. Well done to all 3 of you. We'll see you in Argentina.